Some headway now, angling to the outside as they come to the eighth pole. Zaffarelli confronted by Sharp as Attack. Sharp as Attack has collared him at the 16th pole and starts to edge away. McKinnon diving through late, but it's Sharp as Attack in front, and Sharp as Attack has won it. McKinnon finished second. Zaffarelli third in front of Lincoln Hawk. And time to party. Congratulations to the winner of the NTRA National Handicapping Championship, 800 Jose Cusco. Up next, the sixth. Post time in 21 minutes. Scratch 2, Raising Silver. Scratch 7, Chasing Cat. Remembers the great Jerry Antonucci. May he rest in peace. In the gate. And they're off. Roberta's Love. Bits Tiger Magic is very fast as well, and Wishes to Riches in the pink sprints through inside of them. Sky Sailing comes away a joint fourth, and Epion wide and last. Down the back stretch, and it's Bits Tiger Magic ahead in front. At the rail, Wishes to Riches matches strides, with Roberta's Love 3/4 back in third. Epion moving up willingly while caught 4 deep, but just 3 lengths off the lead, and it's a big gap to Sky Sailing. Bits Tiger Magic 3 furlongs from home leads at a length and a half now. Roberta's Love fully extended, trying to close the gap in second. Epion third. Wishes to Riches has lost significant ground. Sky Sailing is far back, 1/4 mile to go. Bits Tiger Magic, Roberta's Love, and the white blinkers on the outside. These two arrive 1-2 at the top of the stretch. Bits Tiger Magic digs in. Roberta's Love second. Epion still with 3 to find in the final furlong. Bits Tiger Magic and Flavian Pratt. Roberta's Love and Tiago Pereira. Roberta's Love now takes the lead past the 16th pole and starts to edge clear. It's Roberta's Love to win it, going away by 2. Bits Tiger Magic was second. Epion finished with Good Energy third. A long way back, Sky Sailing was fourth. We're in the gate. And they're off in the Irish O'Brien. Stay and Scam is very quick, but Chancery Way, as usual, has too much early speed for them and is now opening up a couple of lengths as they run down the hill. And so it will be Chancery Way. Stay and Scam moves to her outside in second. Madiha third. Rose Maddox is fourth in the early going. Chismosa fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. It's another 3 back to Scary Fast Ride, and all dialed in has 7 lengths to make up. They have less than a half mile to go, and Chancery Way cruising along, has it a length and a half, was able to get away with it softly too. In second is Stay and Scam. They're followed by Chismosa in third. Rose Maddox is fourth, has 3 lengths to make up as they come to the quarter pole. Madiha is awaiting a spot along the inside. Stay and Scam up to take the lead. Chancery Way has to battle back in second. Chismosa is just outside of them. Rose Maddox still with plenty of work to do. Stay and Scam takes command coming to the 16th pole, quickly putting away Chancery Way. Chismosa on the outside, and Madiha. It's Stay and Scam. Stay and Scam has won the Irish O'Brien. Tight photo for second between Chancery Way and Chismosa, and it got wild for the photo as well for fourth. Scary Fast Ride was finishing with some interest along the inside. Going in. All set. They're in the gate. And they're off. Departure flies out of the gate. The Bullion Bomber has good natural speed and comes right after him in the opening furlong. Candy for Carmel. And then it's Midnight Fury on the extreme outside, fourth. Then Granada Flavor, fifth. And down at the rails, Zimbo Warrior. 5 lengths covers the field, and once again, the Bullion Bomber sets the tempo, leads at 3/4 of a length. Departure trying to keep him honest in second. 2 more to Midnight Fury on the outside, clearly into third. Candy for Carmel is in fourth. Granada Flavor, 5 lengths off the lead, and Zimbo Warrior with 5 furlongs to run. It's the Bullion Bomber, 3/4 of a length, snugly in hand at this stage, with Departure right off his flank second. 3 more Midnight Fury covers Candy for Carmel, and Zimbo Warrior inside that pair. Granada Flavor is on the far outside. Still a very compact group. They're heading to the 3/8 pole, and the Bullion Bomber, the leader. Departure about a half length back second. 2 more Midnight Fury all in third. Granada Flavor is next. Candy for Carmel, and another 3 to Zimbo Warrior. They're coming to the quarter pole, and the Bullion Bomber is trying to shake loose. The Bullion Bomber a length. Departure not done yet, trying his best. And then Candy for Carmel in third on the inside of Midnight Fury. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go, and the Bullion Bomber is asked to finish the job. Has it a length and a half. Departure grinding away slowly after him, and Candy for Carmel, the Bullion Bomber. Departure on the outside gets him late, and it's Departure pulling clear to win it by a length. The Bullion Bomber, then Candy for Carmel, who finished with some nice interest in Midnight Fury, followed at the rail by Granada Flavor. We're in the gate, and they're off. Calm Sea broke alertly from the inside. Nashoba's Joy up close in the early furlong. And Mo Rewards, very wide, comes away in third, but is now moving after the leader, Calm Sea, as they cross the dirt and get to the main course. Mo Rewards and Calm Sea together on the front end, with Maltese Falcon tucked in along the rail. The pace is moderate. Nashoba's Joy is racing on the outside of Order and Law, who's under a tight hold between those two. Reckless Spirit second to last, and Joel Rosario and Living Life at the back of the field. 7 lengths covers the group, and it's Calm Sea and Umberto Rispoli in front over Mo Rewards in second. A length and a half Maltese Falcon, Order and Law between rivals, and Nashoba's Joy in the orange just outside of them. At the rail, Reckless Spirit is just 4 lengths off the lead, and Living Life is a length behind him. They swing on to the backstretch, and Calm Sea has the lead comfortably, a length and a half. Mo Rewards in second. They're followed by Maltese Falcon, nose and nose with Nashoba's Joy. Between those two, Order and Law yet to be asked. A length back to Reckless Spirit, and Living Life inches up outside of him. Just 5 lengths covers them. A half mile to run. Calm Sea to catch. He's had things virtually his own way, with Mo Rewards a length back second. Then it's Nashoba's Joy. Maltese Falcon is down at the rail. Now Living Life is called on, makes his move all the way up to take third. He'll have to sustain a long bid. He's 2 lengths off the leaders. Down at the rail, it's Order and Law as the field turns for home. Calm Sea is the leader still. A half length in front of Mo Rewards trying to get by. And Living Life in the center of the course. Maltese Falcon is down at the rail. They're coming to the 16th pole. Calm Sea, Living Life. Calm Sea a half. Living Life grinding him down. Living Life from last to first. Runs down Calm Sea. Maltese Falcon was in a photo with Mo Rewards, and then it's another photo in behind them between Reckless Spirit and Order and Law.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday to each and every one of you, no matter where you may be watching from. And as you're looking at the screen, believe it or not, there's a cheap $40 tournament today. That's the whole idea behind the first racing and wagering protocol. Bet a little to win a lot. So you can play in the $40 live money tournament today and win a seat to next Friday's $300 San Diego Gulfstream qualifier, which gets you into either the Florida Derby or the San Diego tournament, where that's going to cost you $1,000 to get in. So the whole idea is to keep parlaying small amounts of money to get into the big dance. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, VIP Player Concierge, sitting alongside the ownership and wagering liaison for First Racing and Gaming. His name, Tyler Frausto. Tyler, welcome to the seminar. Happy Friday.
Thank you for having me again, Tom.
Now, March Madness is obviously going on right now with college basketball, but for horse player tournament players, March Madness was last weekend in Las Vegas. You happened to be there. It was the National Handicapping Championship. 770 players competed. One gentleman from Indianapolis walked away with the big prize of $800,000. First Racing, other than horse tourneys, qualifies most players into the tournament compared to everybody else. What was it like being there all week long?
I've been going there for about 7 years, actually. It was my first introduction into tournaments was at NHC, and it's a beautiful thing to see so many horse players in one room, all fighting for the same prize, but cheering each other on at the same time. It's full of energy, and it's lively. It's horse racing like at its best.
It's kind of like a convention, right, where everybody gets together. And if you can't win, you're rooting for other people at your table. You happen to be sitting at table 128, which I heard is the lucky table, where Mike from Minneapolis actually wound up winning. He was there with Leo Vukmanovic and Tyler Sprague and some other really good players. The competition is really, really tough. Let's face it. In order to win, there's been no repeat winners in the 25-year history. That shows you how tough it is.
Yes, it's something that I could not compete in. It's way too tough for my level of play, but to see all these people compete year after year, and some of them cash multiple times, and some of them cash very often. It's incredible to see them do such great work that I could never do.
Now, you got a fancy title, as I mentioned in the opening, ownership and wagering liaison. But one of your biggest priorities, one of your biggest responsibilities is managing the tournaments for First Racing. And as we just saw on the screen, there is a plethora of tournaments that players can play in, not only here at San Diego, not only at Gulfstream Park, but online at ExpressBet. So if you're watching from home, get involved, because as I mentioned in the opening, today we're having a $40 tournament. Let's face it, anybody playing the races today is probably wagering $40. It's economical, and you can take another step up to the next tournament next Friday, where it costs $300 to get in. And if you win that, then you're in the big dance for $1,000. It's really simple to do. More players should be doing it, in my opinion.
The value is there. Without a doubt, it's there. I mean, I started, like I said, I started at NHC. That's where I got introduced. And I played in tournaments on horse tourneys for $50 and won my way up to $300 and won my way into $4,000. It's a matter of finding value. And $40, if I could turn $40 into a $3,000 bankroll, that's well worth it, isn't it?
It sure is. And speaking of good value, we had the Ultimate Betting Challenge tournament. There's so many that we have on our schedule and calendar, but the Ultimate Betting Challenge was earlier this month, the first weekend in March, when we had the Fountain of Youth and the San Diego Derby. And the winning prize, or the winning player from that particular tournament, built his bankroll up to $44,000. That was his to keep, plus all the prize structure as well. You actually have to be foolish not to play in tournaments, in my opinion, particularly on these big days.
It adds value to, I've heard other tournament players say this, it adds value to odds. So when you see an 8-5 odd, it's not an 8-5 odd horse anymore. It's maybe a 5-2 or something like that, because of the prize money also involved. It adds value to your everyday bets.
Now, one of the other big tournaments we have is going to be the first Saturday in May, which is the Kentucky Derby, a tournament that we're going to be hosting at First Bet and Express Bet. Talk to us a little bit about that buy-in and all the qualifiers leading up to that, Tyler.
Yeah, we have it's a $3,000 buy-in, $2,000 prize bankroll, with $1,000 contributed to the prize pool structure.
And all of that gets returned to the players. We don't keep any of it whatsoever.
100% of it is returned to the players. And we feed into it using the San Diego Derby, the Florida Derby tournament, and then also this one feeds into those two. So all different levels. We have 40 to 500 to 1,500 to 3,000. And as you mentioned, the Ultimate Betting Challenge this year was $6,000, and so is the Pegasus. So we're growing.
And just to clarify, because it's kind of semantics and verbiage and words, but the Kentucky Derby tournament that's going to be just for one day on the first Saturday in May, that's $3,000 to buy your way into it. $2,000 is your actual betting bankroll that you can basically bet however you see fit. The $1,000 is the contribution to the prize pool. That gets split 100% 100% with the top 4 or 5 winning finishers in the tournament. So it's not like, any of the money is being allocated back to Santa Anita or ExpressBet or Churchill Downs. It's all focused primarily on the tournament and the tournament prize structure.
Exactly. It's 100%. It's 100% pulled out, 100% pushed back out to the players that win. You're betting on yourself is what you're doing when you're playing in our tournaments. You're saying that I'm better than the next guy that's also playing. And that's what horse racing is, isn't it?
It sure is, Tyler. And I mentioned that this is one of your main priorities, working for First Racing and Gaming. But what are some of the other things you're working on? I know that you go to Gulfstream Park whenever we have tournaments. I know that you're busy working on other special projects as well. You're heavily involved in analyzing the results of wagers like Coast to Coast Pick 5 and the Golden Hour Pick 4. You've got a lot on your plate. Tell us a little bit more about what you do.
So, my favorite part, which I think you mentioned before in other segments, is working with the VIPs. Because, working with tournaments and stuff, I get involved with a lot of players. And it's fun to cheer these guys on and knowing who you're cheering on and knowing. And
you started as a wagering ambassador, so you had a lot of exposure to some of these VIP players before you even stepped into your new role.
True, in a way. Wagering ambassador, it doesn't matter if it's a $2 player that shows up twice a year or if it's a VIP that comes in every single day. Everybody that's here is somebody that I engage with, and it actually opens your eyes up to how other people see the sport, whether it be from a professional player perspective or from just a casual person that showed up because we have a beer fest on that day.
You can learn from tournament players to become a better handicapper. You can also learn from certain VIPs in order to become a better handicapper. That's one of the benefits of the job that both Tyler and I have. We're going to find out who Tyler likes on today's 9-race card. A good 9-race card, by the way. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's Friday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast and the turf course is firm, with the rail on the turf out 30 feet for today's racing action. Here are the early changes. First race starts the early pick 5 with no scratches or jockey changes. The second race begins the early pick 4. There are no changes. In the third, no super high 5 wagering with the scratch of number 5, Delmar Jerry. Race 3, scratch number 5, Delmar Jerry. Fourth race begins the $1 pick 6. We have some blinker notes. Fifth race is the beginning of the all-turf pick 3. The sequence today races 5, 7, and 9. It also kicks off the late pick 5 for 50 cents. There are no changes in the sixth. In the seventh race, we have the program scratch of number 5, Bronco Nagurski. Turning to the eighth race, Golden Hour pick 4 begins. Program scratch of number 3, and also scratch number 7, Chrome to Riches. Race 8, take out number 7. And in the ninth, the start of the Golden Hour double, 5 Princess Snow and 9 Deficit Maha each carry 2 pounds over. Those are the changes on today's card. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. Post time for the first in 58 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. In the XBTV studios, Tom's special guest today is Tyler Frausto, First Racing and Gaming Ownership and Wagering Liaison.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Tyler Frausto. He is the point person for all the tournaments that you see on the First Bet platform. If you need to find out more information about all the activities as it relates to tournaments, just go to expressbet.com/tournaments and you'll find all the information right there. We talked about the $40 tournament coming up today. We also talked about the Florida Derby tournament that's coming up next Saturday. One tournament we didn't talk about is tomorrow's tournament, Tyler. A $500 tournament, $300 bankroll, $200 buy-in. All the races here at Santa Anita. We're offering National Handicapping Challenge seats. We're offering Pegasus World Cup seats. And like I said, with all the tournaments that we play online at ExpressBet, the money that you make is yours to keep regardless of where you finish in the standings.
Yes, absolutely. And we tomorrow's tournament is going to be a fun one offered on ExpressBet and on track here at Santa Anita. The Pegasus seats are some of the seats, but we're also offering to switch those out for the California Crown Challenge, which is
Go ahead.
Which is going to be the same level. Essentially, it's a West Coast Pegasus. So it's your choice on which one you want to acquire at the end of the day. But yeah, these $500 levels, like I said, it's like step two into the big leagues, which is, I mean, NHC, which I just came from. And then also these big $6,000 tournaments, $5,000 bankroll. So 500 can turn you into a $5,000 bankrolled person.
And the California Crown will be the first Saturday here during the autumn meet at San Anita, which is in late September. I don't have the date off the top of my head, but that's when we're going to have the extravaganza of not only Breeders' Cup prep races, but the purses are going to be elevated because, as you indicated, Tyler, it's going to try and mirror what we do down at our sister track, Gulfstream Park, for Pegasus World Cup Day. Bring it out here on the West Coast and have it during the month of September. Should be a lot of fun.
I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited for this tournament too. It's something that I've been kind of like playing around with for the past 2 years, but now we have a big day behind it as well, so that's definitely going to grow it, hopefully. Well,
that's way down the road. That's not till September. We need you to have a big day today, Tyler, so let's see who you liked on today's 9-race card. Kicking things off in race number 1, where we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden special weights, 3-year-olds. The turf rails today are at 30 feet, and of course, race 1 begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We've got a field of 6, and number 4, Metro, who we're going to be talking a lot about, is the 8-5 morning line favorite and the current betting choice at 8-5. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Tyler, first I want to watch a workout from Metro. Now, keep in mind, today's race is on the turf course. All works are going to be on the main track. And this work for Metro was back on February 25th, going to break from the gate here in company. And you'll see Metro on the outside break sharply from the gate and going to be joined right here on the turn by a worker whose exercise rider rightfully kind of slams on the brakes and doesn't get involved in this team drill. But you can see Metro has a lot of speed coming out of the gate. The exercise rider kind of takes it easy right here. And then again, he's going to have to kind of ask the horse Metro for a little bit more gas going down the backside as they go into the far turn, because there's going to be more company right here where, you know, it gets a little bit tight. And in order to continue the work, the exercise rider wants to see exactly what Metro has. And Metro certainly shows a good amount of early speed. There he goes right there and kind of draws away from his workmate. It's only a 4 furlong work. So, you know, the verdict is not in whether or not this horse likes turf. But I can tell you one thing, Tyler, as we're watching this workout come to its conclusion, John Sadler, the last 5 years, according to DRF Formulator, has had 77 maidens that have started on the turf course in their debut start. Only 7 have won. That's 9%. So it's not really a go-to move for the Sadler barn. Plus the connections here paid in excess of $2 million for this Son of Quality Road. It was the most expensive North America yearling in 2022. So certainly expectations are high. Bit of an odd spot to start, this high priced of a yearling sprinting on the turf course. I know you're a little dubious and skeptical as well.
Dubious and skeptical, not so sure. I think the horse probably has tons of talent, tons of great breeding behind it. But to bet on a horse on a short price first time out is never the move. Maybe that's the tournament in me talking a little bit, but you have to find value. And honestly, like you just said, that actually confirms it a little bit more. You have a horse of great value and power potentially. Why not let it develop a little bit more? Why not let the horse grow into itself before racing it to its full potential?
This is not the end game, right? They didn't spend $2.2 million or $2.5 million, I should say, for a turf sprinter. There's certainly bigger fish to fry down the road. But some of these other runners, this might be their type of marquee day today, trying to sprint on the turf course. And we see like number 5, Fast Chaz, going from a route to a sprint. Tell us why you like this Doug O'Neill trained runner.
Well, on his debut, this horse went 6.5 on the turf and ran a decent race there with Frausto aboard. And then came back, had a bunch of trouble, it looked like, and at a mile, just didn't really show up to the day. And so this time out at this price, 5-2 isn't beautiful, but
5-1 is on the tote board right now.
5-1 on the now that's better. Morning line, it wasn't the most beautiful thing, but at 5-1, if we're going to get 8-5 on that 4 horse and we're going to get 5-1 on this horse, I'd much rather take a risk on the 5-1 shot.
You're going to roll up your sleeves and get involved at that price. Let's talk about a couple other horses, and I'll do most of the talking here. Let's talk about number 2, All That Glory, the first-time turf runner from the Tim Yakteen barn. Here's an interesting statistic. All That Glory puts blinkers on for Mr. Yakteen, but the interesting part is the Damn Glorious Hour, actually in her 3rd career start and her first time on turf, one coming down the hill here at San Anita, and you can see a similar pattern with All That Glory. 2 dirt starts and now goes on the turf for the 3rd career start. not coming down the hill, but nevertheless, it looks like they're trying to parallel exactly what the dam did. And this is her first foal. And if you have the racing form in front of you, you can see number 1, JB Strikes Back, another runner from the Doug O'Neill barn, first-time starter. This is a half to Reincarnate from the Bob Baffert barn. Reincarnate, a very nice horse who finished third in the big cap, has never tried turf, but again, an interesting spot for JB Strikes Back to debut for Doug O'Neill. Interesting race if you can get past the favorite, number 4, Metro. And by the way, one other stat related to John Sadler with his first-time starters on turf. I said that he's 7 for 77 over the last 5 years. He's 1 for 32 with his last 32 first-time starters on turf. Not a lot of compelling information to back Metro right now at at betting odds of 8-5, but that's why they run the race. We'll see actually who emerges victorious. Let's turn the page, Tyler. Take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. This is for California-bred 3-year-old fillies, allowance optional claiming types. Number 2, Prancing Through Paris, who broke this condition on the turf course, now goes back to the dirt course and is currently the 8-5 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 2, Tyler.
So in race 2, I like the 4-horse Bella Vienna. I think if this horse just kind of repeats its last race and just goes straight to the lead and leaves everybody else behind, it has every bit of a shot to win the race at 3-1 compared to an 8-5 favorite that you said just won last time out on turf, but going back to dirt. So that's not necessarily something that's really enthusiastic for me. But yes, has a lot of back class left and right. I mean, I'm just taking a shot here and trying to get a little more value on the floor.
Well, there's a couple of good reasons why you would want to take a shot for Bella Vienna. First of all, she added Lasix last time out, and that propelled her right into the winner's circle. But she's also shown a propensity to like the main track here at San Anita. She has 2 career wins out of 6 lifetime starts. Both of those occurred right here over the main track at San Anita. She's drawn well outside, and like you said, if you're looking for an alternative to number 2, the morning line favorite, Prancing Through Paris, that certainly looks like a viable option. Before we take a look at race number 3, Tyler, a question for you. You talked about how you hang out with VIPs, both during your wagering ambassador days and now even going to the NHC and going to all the various tournaments around the country, as well as on a day-to-day basis here at San Anita. What things have you learned from them? Let's focus on one of them specifically, Dylan Donnelly, who has a couple horses in on today's card. You and Dylan have become friends. He's obviously a very successful player. By listening to him, by watching him play, by observing what he does, what are some of the things you've learned from Dylan to make yourself a better player?
Haven't made myself a better player, but I have learned a lot from him. I just can't take it in full. He's very focused on how he plays. He'll select one, maybe 2 strong opinions in a day.
On a 9-race card.
On a 9-race card. And he's perfectly fine watching the rest of the races and just watching them and taking them in. But he will focus on those 1, maybe 2 hits and just play on those and focus on those and score or not score. But like if you score, it's a big, nice payout.
What does he do during the other 7 races? Is he out kind of, just checking out the scenery or shooting the breeze, or is he physically paying attention to all the races, kind of scouting them for opportunities down the road?
He's definitely paying attention to the races. And I mean, let's face it, the racetrack's a social environment too. So there's a lot of people out here that he'll interact with. But in the paddock, he'll take a peek at the horses. During the race, he'll watch it, check it out. I mean, he was a lot more focused than I ever will have.
He's one of a kind, that's for sure.
Yes.
Let's turn the page, take a look at race number 3. We're back sprinting on the turf course, 6 furlongs in the distance. This is a starter allowance race. We've got 1 scratch in the field. Scratch number 5, Delmar Jerry, leaves us with a field of 6. Take note number 4, Fast Giselle, is actually a mare running against the boys, and the morning line favorite on the bottom is number 7, Gypsy King, who ran a good second last time out for trainer Lee Baraccio. 2-1 according to John White. What's race 3 according to Tyler Frausto?
I'm going with Gypsy King, the outside horse with JJ aboard for Borosio. And I think this horse at Turf Sprint, it definitely get there. Last time out had a decent trip, but just didn't really finish it off. And this time around with some stronger workouts, it looks like maybe more fit, ready to go.
Fair enough. And you also give a little love to number 4, Fast Giselle, who's had 6 second-place finishes out of 14 lifetime starts. She has 3 consecutive seconds in her last 3 races. What'd you like about her in today's 3rd race?
Antonio Frezu stays aboard. It's coming in strong. I mean, Antonio is, I mean, he's killing it in the turf game right now.
No doubt about it.
It's without a doubt. And I mean, going back to what this horse has been doing well at, the last 2 races have been on a turf sprint. Like, I think this horse likes it here in the turf sprint format, but maybe just not enough in this race.
Tyler, it's kind of old news, but a couple of years ago, you and I were hanging out at Delmar in the paddock, and I believe it was on a tournament weekend where the Delmar was having one of their live money tournaments. You got knocked out of the tournament relatively early on, but later in the day, you came flashing a pick 5 ticket that I think paid a lot of money. Is the pick 5 wager your favorite wager? Or do you kind of dabble in win, play, show? Like, what do you do when you step up to the window and make a wager?
I do like pick 5s. Pick 5s are great. They could also be really deadly because if you all it takes is one wrong opinion to knock you out of the ticket entirely. So your investment could be out the door by the first race, or it could leave you hanging in the last race. At least in the last, you could kind of hedge and kind of figure out where you're at.
And that Del Mar tournament is interesting because I said, even though it's a couple of years ago, and I think it was before you were put into your current position, you actually qualified online for that Del Mar tournament. It was a $5,000 or $6,000 tournament. Do you recall how much you qualified for online? Was it a couple $100?
Yeah, no, it was actually $50 is where I started. So $50 tournament, which I won, got me into the, I think it was $350 tournament. And then that one, I won my way into the 4,000. And that's why I say, like, it's not necessarily, you don't have to buy in and fully invest. And this is why the $40 are essential. And we utilize horse tourneys as well to feed into our tournaments.
Yes.
So although it's not on Express Bet, you could also qualify on a mythical win place format to win your way into a live money bankrolled tournament.
And a lot of players do. We've seen a lot of them come in from all around the country. You can play on expressbet.com. You can play on horsetourneys.com. And we welcome all the qualifiers to come out here to Santa Anita if we offer that specific tournament and have a lot of fun here at the Great Race Place.
Nothing better to enjoy Santa Anita on a day.
Race number 4 begins the $1 pick 6. We're sprinting this time again on the main track. 6 furlongs is the distance. Main claiming Calbred, fillies and mares in for a $50,000 tag. We've got a field of 5. Morning line favorite, who we haven't seen in quite some time from the Mark Glatt barn, is number 3, Whimsical Hair, who is 8 to 5 on the morning line. 5-year-old mare with just 4 lifetime starts. This is a bit of a head scratcher. Small field, but not really easy to sink your teeth into one horse here with a strong opinion. Who'd you like and why?
I like the 2 horse here, the Peter Miller horse with Flavian Pratt aboard. I mean, yes, it's the 3 is also dropping from the maiden special weight down to the maiden claiming level, but so is this horse. And I think with Pratt aboard, should have a nice assist in the win here, hopefully. JJ Hernandez was riding this horse, now switching up the jock. Maybe it's just a fresh start that the horse needs.
Here's a couple of interesting things to take note of, especially starting in race number 4. You'll see in the conditions that this race is now eligible for 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Up to this point, maidens and other runners have been running against their own age group. Now the 3-year-olds are tackling older, and the inside 2 runners here in race number 1 are both 3-year-olds. It'll be interesting to see how they can compete in late March against their elders. Some would think that might be a disadvantage. Others would think it's not. And there is historical data to back up both points. And a couple of additional statistics, courtesy of Brad Free in the Daily Racing Form. Let's focus first on number 1, Donita Rose from the Peter Miller barn, one of 2 that he trains in here. According to Brad Free, the Miller barn has won with 6 of their last 12 second-time starters in Calbred maiden claiming races. That's exactly the type of race that Donita Rose is running in today. Miller hits at a 50% win clip whenever he falls into this particular category. So Donita Rose might be live. And the morning line favorite, number 3, Whimsical Air, who I mentioned earlier from the Mark Glatt barn, again, courtesy of Brad Freed. The last 2 years for the Glatt barn, they are 7 for 11 with maiden claimers returning with layoffs in excess of 180 days. Easily more than 60%. 7 for 11 the last 2 years with maiden claimers returning in excess of 180 days. A lot of good statistical information to basically look at surrounding race number 4. Interesting race, as I mentioned, with a small field. Race number 5, we're back on the turf course, this time 2 turns of the distance. 1 mile for maiden special weight Calbreds. Take note, number 3, Rhino, returning off the long layoff as a first-time gelding. Also, race 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5, as well as the $3 all-turf pick 3. And the aforementioned Rhino is ridden by Umberto Rispoli. Why do I mention that? He's on the heels of career win number 2,000 worldwide. He's sitting at 1,999. This is his first mount on today's card. Good luck to you, Umberto, and your agent, Matt Nakatani. But Bart's Prospect, who is putting blinkers on for trainer Sean McCarthy, is the 8 to 5 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Tyler, want to watch a replay that 3 of these runners exit, including Bird's Prospect. It was back on February 23rd. I want you to pay attention, not only the Bird's Prospect, who's going to break from post position number 3 in this replay, but also Hot Legs Romolo. They're going to finish in basically almost a dead heat when they cross the finish line out of this common race back on February 23rd. Watch the runners breaking out of post positions 2 and 3 as we listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
And And they're off. Rough start for Be Punctual. Hot Legs Romolo out very alertly. Bert's Prospect is up close. Be Punctual now moves up easily, though, with his natural speed, and he's up on even terms. So it's 3 across the course. Hot Legs Romolo at the rail. Bert's Prospect in between, and on the outside of them comes Be Punctual, going a bit wide into the first turn. City of Angels is next. Anthem settles in 5th. 5 lengths off the lead. Maxville in between horses, and here come Georgie Boy at the back of the field. Hot Legs Romolo takes him onto the backstretch, leading by a half length to Be Punctual in second. Bert's Prospect under a hold at the rail, followed by City of Angels. Here come Georgie Boy. Anthem is 5 lengths off the lead, traveling smoothly enough, and Maxville is just outside of him. It's a compact group. 6 lengths covers them, less than a half mile to go. Hot Legs Romolo, 3/4 of a length to Be Punctual. City of Angels, Bert's Prospect on even terms. Anthem 5th along the inside, looking for a spot between rivals. Maxville just outside of him. Here come Georgie Boy, has dropped back to last. It's Hot Legs Romolo, a half length in front. Be Punctual alongside second. City of Angels in the orange, 3 deep in third. Bert's Prospect, Anthem, Maxville. They're at the top of the stretch. Hot Legs Romolo goes on. There's a seam for Bert's Prospect. Be Punctual went a bit wide. City of Angels on the outside. A final furlong. Here's Bert's Prospect coming right to Hot Legs Romolo. Outside of them, it's Be Punctual. Here's City of Angels with a late surge. City of Angels, Bert's Prospect, Hot Legs Romolo. Photo finish. City of Angels on the outside.
Tyler, tough beat for Bert's Prospect, getting nailed on the wire by City of Angels, and Hot Legs Romolo right there in third. That's the common race where we watched the replay. Maxville comes out of that race as well, didn't have a whole lot of pace to run at. But you're going in a different direction. You like another runner. Tell us who it is and why.
I am in a different direction here. I like the 5 horse, Run Bryce Run. Sound like a broke record now. Antonio Frausto aboard, but beyond that, I watched a replay on this horse. It kind of stalled in the gate a little bit. Beyond that, it couldn't get straight in the stretch run. Like when the stretch, horses kept getting in front of him. Just had to go out a little bit more. Once he got clear and straight, tons of closing run, and I thought could be much the best in the race.
Run Bryce Run, you can see, has a good improving Beyer speed figure pattern, but also take note, he's the only 3-year-old in the field. Here's another condition that's allowing 3-year-olds to run against older. This is the first time that Run Bryce Run is running against older. We'll see if that has any impact, but certainly getting compensated for it with a morning line odds of 6-1. You also like the runner returning off a long layoff, Tyler. Number 3, Rhino. We haven't seen him since September of 2022. First time Lasix, first time gelding. Umberto Rispoli in the saddle. What'd you like about this 4-year-old son of Texas Rhino?
A lot of changes. Exactly. Gelding, Lasix, coming off the long layoff, strong workouts, 6-1. I mean, all those things say I'll take a shot with that. That's 6-1.
You make a really good point, Tyler, because the more changes, the better, in my opinion. I really like that when you're handicapping, and it sounds like you do too. Whether they're going sprint to route, whether they're taking blinkers off or putting them on, whether they're changing jockeys, whether they're adding Lasix, whatever it is, it really shows intent by the connections, right? And you nailed it in terms of the analysis. That's one of the reasons why it kind of makes sense that you would like Rhino, because there's so much going on, and more importantly, they don't bring him back in a maiden claiming the race, they bring him back in a maiden special weight.
Treat him as a first-time starter almost.
At 6-1 with Umberto in the saddle,
Exactly.
Sounds like a play to me. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're going 2 turns on the main track. Mile and the 16th is the distance for fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types. Non-winners of 1 other than. Number 4, Lisa's No-No from the Mark Glatt barn with Antonio Frausto in the saddle is a 7-5 morning line favorite. Who'd you like in race 6, Tyler?
If you can't beat them, join them. So I picked the chalk here. Unlike most of the other races, I just went with the 4. I think this horse shows a decent amount of talent. Obviously, can be beat, but wasn't beat by Big Novel. So I think this horse, you can't go deep in this race. I might just single him and just or single her and just keep moving on.
Race number 7, we're back on the turf course. 1 mile the distance. This race is for Calbred. Allowance optional claiming types. Non-winners of 1 other than. Program scratch of the 5, Bronco Nagurski, who's going to run on tomorrow's card. Morning lane favorite number 6, Enjoy It Straight. Once again from the Mark Glatt barn. Tony Frausto in the saddle. Could be a big day for both of those gentlemen. 3-1 according to John White. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Tyler, one more replay to watch. We have 4 runners, the inside 4 runners in today's 7th race. All exit this replay we're about to watch. It was back on February 23rd. It was the the nightcap. It was the 9th race, and you can see Dick Best won, but was disqualified out of the win. If you're looking at the racing form, they have him basically breaking from post position number 4, but he'll be wearing saddlecloth number 5. So I want you to watch Dick Best wearing saddlecloth number 5, and I also want you to watch number 3, Tom and Jazzy, who's going to be wearing saddlecloth number 11. Kent DeSorma, who was in the saddle that particular afternoon, couldn't really straighten this horse out coming down the lane, but you'll see he has a wicked late kick. So watch the runners that are wearing saddlecloths number 5 and 11 as we listen to Frank Miramati describe the action back on February 23rd.
And they're off. Dick Best in the center of the course, out for the early lead. Rodrigo Knows comes away in second. They're followed by Dazzle the Command, who moves up, takes third. Wine and Whiskey is on the extreme outside. Druidic is one from the rail. Down on the rail, Billy's Bet hugs that fence and is only 3 lengths off the lead, rounding the turn. Barely Functional, one from the outside. Wine and Whiskey in the pink is 6 off the lead. It's another 2 lengths back. Tom and Jazzy is unhurried in the early going. A gap of 5 to McGollin Rim. The 2 trailers are Bronco Nagurski and the favorite Moogie Sun. Down the back stretch, heading to the half-mile pole. Dick Best 3/4. Now it's a half to Rodrigo Knows in second. Wine and Whiskey just off them in third. They're followed by Billy's Bet. Druidic is in fifth, 4.5 lengths off the lead. Then Barely Functional inching up just a touch. A length and a half clear of Dazzle the Command, who's losing ground. Tom and Jazzy is next. Rispoli and Moogie Sun still have a dozen to make up, starting to make some headway. 4 in front of McGollin Rim and Bronco Nagurski. Dick Best, Rodrigo Knows, 1-2 at the top of the stretch. Barely Functional along the inside is in with a good chance. He's had a ground-saving, beautiful journey. Can he get inside of Dick Best? Dick Best trying to fend him off. Barely Functional along the inside, center of the course. Tom and Jazzy late. Barely Functional gets through. It's going to be a driving finish. Photo finish.
Tyler, another blanket finish, and our friend Dylan Donnelly, the owner of Tom and Jazzy, certainly thought he might get there in the shadows of the wire, but as I mentioned, Kent DeSormo couldn't quite straighten him out at the top of the stretch, and that probably cost him victory. Take nothing away from Dick Best, who was very game, adding blinkers that particular afternoon, but unfortunately got disqualified. There was a long inquiry in the race. Having said all that, you actually like Tom and Jazzy to hit the winner's circle today.
Yes, after that race, who couldn't, though? That horse had a great try at the end there. I mean, went 4 wide around the clubhouse turn, had a little bit of trouble. Not much, but the horse still showed a lot of talent, and the ability to get there just wasn't his day.
Race number 8 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. It's a wager Tyler and I play on a daily basis, and we kick things off going 1 mile and a 16th on the main track for maiden claimers. $20,000 is the claiming tag. 1 program scratch of the 3 running for Cole. Also take note, number 7, Chrome to Riches, will not compete. Leaves us with a field of 7. Number 5, Dark Marcus, dropping down to the lowest level he's ever run at, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Peter Miller trains Kaz Kamura in the saddle. A lot of different ways you can go here, Tyler. Which way are you going?
I am going with Hard Money Muchachos here, the 6th horse.
Dylan Donnelly again. How about that?
Go figure.
He ran great last time out.
The Dylan Donnelly double, right? So, yeah, ran great last time out. Beyond that, looking at Dark Marcus, yes, moving down to the lowest level. But this horse has ran 15 times on the turf, 4 times on the dirt. Obviously, they think this horse is a little more geared up for the turf, but either way hasn't performed all that optimal. So I think Ayuso with Hard Money Muchachos ran a great race last time, and I think given the shot again, they might run a better one today.
Dark Marcus is owned by Slam Dunk Racing. If you look at the running line for number 6, Hard Money Muchachos, last time out, lost to another Slam Dunk runner by the name of Arrogate Spirit. That was a shipper from Kentucky who was dropping out of the maiden special weight division to run for maiden 20. So certainly nothing lost and nothing disgraceful in losing for Hard Money Muchachos to an animal of that type of quality. Comes back for the same level as well. And you make a good point, Tyler, about number 5, Dark Marcus. They've been insistent on running on the turf course, but maybe he is a better dirt horse. He's only had 4 tries over the main track, 2 seconds and 1/3. He is camera shy, but we don't know if he's a proven loser on the main track. We'll find out today since he runs for maiden 20. We close out the day in race number 9, offering $5 Golden Hour daily double wagering. Similar concept. Last race here with the last race at Golden Gate, and we're going 1 mile on the turf course for fillies and mares. It's a starter optional claiming race. We've got a field of 9. Take note, there's 4 3-year-olds in the field, but the morning line favorite, number 2, I should have. You have any help on how to pronounce it? We're going to leave it up to Frank Miramati. I've actually played this horse before, and I'm just having a mind blank on how to pronounce the name. But from the Phil D'Amato barn is 5-2 on the morning line. Exits a common race that many of these do, including number 1, We Miss Grammy. Adelaide, I'll go with how to pronounce the morning lane favorite. Now that I butchered the name, Tyler, try and give us a winner to save my face.
I think you got it pretty close, if not accurate. I'm terrible with the names myself, but I'm actually going with the 3 horse here, Marina's Tina. So this horse, off the layoff for 6 months, comes back to win at a maiden claiming 50,000. And actually, I was curious on this. I went back onto Equibase and saw why this horse might have jumped down to a maiden claiming, and it was a wavered race, so wavered claim.
Sure.
And as Sebastian told me, actually, after 6 months here, if you haven't race your horse, you have the ability to waive the claim. So that's perfect. Why not drop your horse? Why not get a paycheck?
Sure.
Against an easier crowd? Yeah, it went against a little easier crowd, but I think the horse showed like some potential there. Actually went and ran and won, and right off the layoff, maybe this horse has a different mindset nowadays.
And the Phil D'Amato barn does well with runners returning second off the long layoff. You can see in the racing form, wins at a 19% clip. And if you have the racing form in front of you, take a look at the trainer statistics for number 1, We Miss Grammy. Peter Urton, the trainer of We Miss Grammy, does exceptionally well with runners in their second start off 180-day layoff. You can see he clicks at a 50% win clip with 12 starters. And also, whenever your name's Juan Hernandez in the saddle, he wins the last 2 years at close to a 41% win clip. Tyler, great having you on the show. Keep in mind, if you're watching, plenty of ways to get involved in the tournaments. Today, we've got a $40 tournament. Tomorrow, we've got a $500 tournament. Next Friday, we've got a $300 tournament. On Florida Derby Day, which will be a week from tomorrow at our sister track, Gulfstream Park, we've got, I believe, a $1,000 tournament. $1,500 tournament,
yes.
Excuse me. So a lot of different price points that players can get involved with. And again, I hear a lot of excuses. Oh, it's too expensive. No, it's not expensive. Oh, the same players keep winning and winning. No, they don't. There's never been a duplicate champion of the NHC. So don't make excuses. Get involved with all the tournaments that expressbet.com offers. And thanks to your leadership and your insight and your knowledge of the tournament scene, it's really one of the more dynamic tournament sites that people can play both online and as well as here at the track. Keep up the great work, and good luck with all your selections today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Live racing resumes tomorrow with another 9-race card. First post 1 o'clock. We'll do another seminar 11:50 a.m. Pacific time. Thanks again, everybody. Have fun today and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track is fast, turf is firm, rail on the turf out 30 feet. Here are the changes. First race starts the early pick 5 with no scratches or jockey changes. No changes in race number 2. In the third, scratch number 5, Delmar Jerry. Race 3, scratch number 5, and there is no super high 5 in race 3. Turning to the fourth, we start the $1 pick 6. Blinker notes. Fifth race starts the late pick 5 with some blinker notes as well. The all-turf pick 3, $3 wager. Races 5, 7, and 9 today for the all-turf pick 3 starts with the 5th. No changes in the 6th, kicking off the late pick 4. In the 7th, we have a program scratch of number 5, Bronco Nagurski. 8th race program scratch of the 3, running for Kosi. Scratch 7, Chrome to Riches. Race 8, start of the Golden Hour pick 4, scratch 3 and 7. And in the 9th, beginning of the Golden Hour double, overweights, number 5, Princess Snow +2, 9, Deficit Maha, 2 pounds over. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. They'll be at the gate for the opener. Start of the early pick 5 in 25 minutes at 1 p.m.